Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Thunderstorm podcast. I am Kaznarious. With me is Sliv.
Heyo.
And PorkChopper.
What's up?
And Mr. Nameless.
Yeah, that's my name.
And we're all here to talk about two wonderful 10 out of 10 shows. No arguments there, am I right, lads? No, zero arguments. In fact, I'm the only one talking, so I have to assume that's true. Chainsaw Man and Andor. Let's get straight into it, lads.
Andor what?
Fuck you. Usually we do the anime last, so let's start with Andor. Mr. Nameless, give us a description of what Andor is all about.
So, Andor is set in Star Wars, the worst universe ever. And it's the story of a vile criminal who repeatedly breaks the law and causes a bunch of people to die, all because he's just a garbage human being. And the brave Imperial soldiers and intelligence officers, and that one guy that's like a corporate bro that I love.
Corpo bro and Inquisitor bitch.
Yeah. As those brave heroes try to stop him, and unfortunately fail in the end. It's a tragic tale.
It is.
Zero Karn deserved better than he got.
So, I just want to get a temperature read here. How does everyone feel about Andor?
I really liked Andor. I think it's the best series that Disney's made since the acquisition of Star Wars.
I will clarify to the audience that Andor was brought in by Sliver, and Chainsaw Man was brought in by Mr. Nameless. How about you, PorkChopper?
I really enjoyed Andor. I think it has a lot in common with the best parts of Star Wars, which is it's not just black and white, right? The best parts of Star Wars are when you start bringing in the shades of gray and the really fucked up moral characters. So I enjoyed it.
Before we continue, I will disagree with that point a little bit. I do think that peak Star Wars was very much, dark side, light side, original trilogy, Luke and the power of the light side and whatever. I will agree with you that I think it's probably the best Star Wars media I've watched in a long time.
Yeah. As someone who's pretty lukewarm on Star Wars as a whole, I like the original trilogy, it's fine. Everything else has been kind of mediocre or bad. That I've seen. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I thought it was generally pretty good. I liked it. I would say it doesn't make me want to watch Rogue One, which this is like a prequel to that.
You should, by the way. It is actually fantastic.
I've
Rogue
heard.
One is a brilliant film.
But I wouldn't say this show made me want to go watch it outside of any interest I already had, which was kind of low.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a good companion to the movie, but yeah, it might not necessarily make someone want to watch the movie.
Mm-hmm. As I understand, the second season coming out in like 2025 is going to go more into depth about that over a longer time frame.
I think what seemed like the most interesting thing to me about the show was just the fact that it is I would say, least Star Wars property that we have seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a story about a side character from a side movie that, should I spoil Rogue One? I won't. But, this is the most, fucking who character that Star Wars ever, okay, probably not ever, but, it wasn't going off of people's nostalgia to watch this, is what I'm trying to say here. There's no Obi-Wans, I don't even think, nobody uses the Force throughout it. Sure there's droids, but there isn't some obvious oh, we gotta wait for the Luke cameo, like in The Mandalorian, or, there's not or even in The Mandalorian, there isn't a Yoda, some kind of Yoda shooting. It was just the aesthetic of this universe and it just happening. I do really like the Star Wars universe. I really like it's such a little thing, but I like going into a shitty, dusty planet and going into a weird bungalow house that has all these weird bits and bobs and contraptions that do who fucking knows what. I love just looking at shit in this universe.
We're talking just about Star Wars. One thing that this show has is Star Wars is a really dirty sci-fi.
Yeah.
Everything's made of junk for the most part, outside of like Imperial stuff. And this show has this like in abundance. There's so much junkers all over the place. Everyone's running crap. And everything looks kind of shitty. And like it's on purpose. Like it's this weird like low-tech sci-fi in a way, and I like that. That is one thing I will like about the Star Wars. For sure. I think this show does that quite well.
Yeah, I would agree with Kaz. For something that is ingrained inside of the Skywalker saga, it's very Skywalker-like, right? It's very un-Star Wars, and that is one of the best qualities of it.
I like how it had absolutely nothing to do with the Force at all.
Yeah.
None of these supernatural mechanics. It was just set in the Star Wars universe. I think that was a benefit to the series as a whole, was to avoid that whole aspect of the series.
Yeah, I mean, you know, pretty much any like mainline Star Wars movie is going to show us like a war happening or some giant conflict unfolding or like a giant adventure happening. But despite so much happening in this series, the stakes do get relatively low for a lot of characters in comparison. Like, never before would I have imagined what a fucking condo in Coruscant would have looked like. Until we saw Corpo Bro go there after getting fired from his job as a shitty cop and having to eat space Nesquik.
Yeah.
I'm glad they portrayed his mom as like a cunt as well.
But like it's such a grounded story, like to the point where again it's weirdly like foreign to Star Wars for something so grounded.
Yeah, I really like how they portrayed his mother as just being like a bad mother, and it hit me on a deep emotional level.
Relatable, real, and true.
Relatable mother mechanics.
Dude, she's got that like old school like European vibe, so I understand where they're coming from with that.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah.
So what did you guys think about them essentially dividing the series up into like 4 chapters? Or 4 like plot lines, right? Because I'm pretty sure you noticed that probably the Aldani heist, that it was going in story arcs for the show. Instead of just one continuous it was one continuous story, but it was kind of broken up into arcs.
Well, I mean, it also takes place over so many months, so I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. So what are the arcs that you identified, Sliver? I'm curious.
So there is the Corpo Bro arc at the beginning, where Cassian killed the 2 Corpo Bros. And there was the Aldani heist arc. There was the Narkina 5 arc, and there was the Return to Ferrix arc.
Okay, I was curious when you said that. Those are like the main story arcs. I was wondering if you were talking about like the various plot threads that were going on.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about like the POVs or anything like that.
Okay, that's what I was just wanted to clarify. Yeah, no, they were definitely there. I will say I found some arcs to be. Well, I found the prison arc to be a little pointless in ways. It was just there to kind of get Andor out of the way for a bit and to make him hate the Empire more. Like, those are the end results of it. But most of the stuff in the prison felt a little, like... It just kind of shows how the Empire is a bunch of bastards.
It does.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the post-credits scene?
Yes.
I've heard of the post-credit scene. So
Okay, just making sure. But
Yeah.
yes, like, it was there to just show, like, the scope of the Empire, right?
Yeah, no, I get what he was doing. It's just... There was a lot of it that... I don't know, I didn't need to see all of it. It could have been done a lot faster.
Come on, you didn't want 2 whole episodes of Ula fucking deteriorating?
I thought the prison shit was pretty cool, for the record.
I really liked the prison shit. One way out and all that.
I have a weird love for just like watching characters like just building shit. Like the weird mechanics of like the giant wrench they use and like the process of them turning it and like, you know, fastening the handles or whatever. Like it's all, I don't know. There's
For future reference, during the summer, Kaz does just sit there and watch construction sites.
Oh
for
yeah,
hours.
I'm a huge fan of trains too.
Well, who doesn't like trains?
But it's
just
especially when it's like this, you know, what the fuck even is it? Well, obviously we learn what it is, but like in the moment you're like, what is this? Like, what the fuck are they making? What strange Star Wars device are they making?
in relation to the prison arc. Who else thought the safety shoes looked stupid as hell?
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
safety shoes are fucking
Absolutely.
ridiculous.
Because we're not balling. Not at all.
Yeah.
Those look so
The
fucking.
cries of freedom were only drowned out by the constant "what are those?"
I don't know. I like the prison arc, especially since it had Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis, especially when he's not playing, you know, Caesar or Smeagol. Like when it's actually him, he's such a fucking great actor. I love seeing him on screen, so I enjoyed that.
Sorry, I can't recognize actors.
Is Andy Serkis Claw from the fucking?
Yes.
Okay. From the MCU. Okay.
Okay.
So in the prison scene, they're like foreman kind of guy, the main like.
Oh,
guy.
okay. The leader
okay.
of the room. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's phenomenal.
He did
Kino
good.
was
Yeah.
Kino.
Yeah, definitely.
I really liked seeing our first planet, our weird, you know, dune desert planet again with all the bits and bobs and the weird hammer guy who acts as like the
Oh yeah, the
anvil
bell
ringer.
anvil.
yeah
That guy went hard. That guy was cool.
yeah
Yeah,
I
that
liked
was cool.
that guy.
like and like what a cool society. Like when you die they make you into a brick to build up this cool ass wall. Like it's
Yeah, that was interesting.
there's a lot I'm going to inevitably forget about Andor. I'm gonna remember that planet, I think.
Oh, well, I'm glad that Marva, even though she was a brick, got a body count in the end.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome that he beats some fucker over the head with her. That was cool. I did like that. What this series did very well was trying to humanize the Empire and show us the people in it. That's why I think there were relatively few stormtroopers actually, or like most of the ground soldiers
Where like
they weren't
ISB
wearing
officers,
masks. They
right?
were. You could see their faces. You know, it's we have Corpo Bro who. I mean, I feel like there's an argument that he did nothing wrong. He just was doing what he thought was right the whole time.
But he also did disobey orders from his superior.
Okay, well,
Because they were corrupt, right? Like it's hard to disagree with him because he was really just trying to get justice for two people who were murdered, right? I can understand that.
Even if they were dipshits, like at the end of the day, like that character was just trying to do what he thought was right, even if, you know, it's for the shithead side.
Yeah.
Well, arguably the shithead side, right? Because
I mean,
Primor's security doesn't work for the Empire. Primor's security, like, just had jurisdiction over that area, over their system.
right, but like by the end, he was like actively helping the Empire.
Yes.
Find these people. Is what I'm
Yeah,
trying
he
to
was
say.
helping the like
The Inquisitor bitch. Which
yeah,
was the only
that's what
name I
Kaz
could
keeps
think
calling her.
of.
We'll just call her the Inquisitor woman.
Bitch.
I know her
He's the
name.
Inquisitor bitch.
It's Dedra Miro, thank you very much.
It is Dedra. I did forget her name. My apologies.
Every name in this just passed right through my skull, and I didn't remember a single one. It's really bad, actually.
I remember Skeen because he was a scumbag.
Sure.
Skeen.
Yeah, fair.
Fuck Skeen.
But I really liked the woman in security because, well, it's because she was just she was competent at her job, and I kind of enjoyed watching her be competent at her job and cut through a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Even though she was a part of the bad guys team, like she's not working at this for a good cause, really. But I liked watching her work.
I like how they realistically portrayed her having shell shock during the battle on Ferrix.
Yeah, fair, sure, that's good.
I mean, you know, that's another thing I kind of like about the show is that, you know, you say, you know, we're all calling the Empire the bad guys, which they obviously are, but like, you know, I'm sure I feel like she would probably be kind of doing the same shit, like no matter what side she was on. Like, she was just very competent. I like that. Again, Corpo Bro by the end, he's helping the Empire because he wants justice. And I also like that our main, like, kind of dealer guy, who I'm also fucking blanking on his name.
Luthen?
Luthen. I mean, Luthen does some kind of fucked up shit by the end of this.
Oh yeah, Luthen is great as fuck.
Like, fuck, man. Half of this show, our glorious rebellion, is trying to kill Andor because he's a fucking loose end.
Yep.
Yeah, he's also Luthen's a bit of a what's it called? An accelerationist.
Sure.
He's like, let's make things really bad so that people really want to rebel.
Yeah.
That's why he started the heist, because he knew, oh, if we do this big heist, then the Empire is going to crack down, and when the Empire cracks down, people are going to stand up.
He is actively making shit worse. It is very much an ends justify the memes situation.
Yeah, it's interesting. I liked that. In terms of the Corazon characters, I found the the counselor woman. I found her plotline.
Yeah,
Mon
yeah.
Mothma.
Yeah, I found her plotline a bit pointless a lot of the time. She was good as a vehicle to see the consequences of like Andor's actions and stuff.
Yeah.
But then when it got into her like money issues and making a deal to kind of like sell her daughter into marriage, that was all like, I don't care about any of this. This is completely pointless. It has nothing to do with Andor. I'm sure it'll come back in season 2. Like,
yeah.
It's building up for a season 2 thing, but as it stands right now, it was kind of just there.
I like that it's both sides doing bad shit. You know, it's both sides doing real shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Andor in between, who's just like, you know, he does shit for himself, but he's got a conscience. You know, I went into the show and I saw everyone during the heist, and it's like, okay, we've got our merry band of you know, silly scoundrels that are gonna get together, and they all have hearts of gold, and they're all gonna go on like raids on whatever. Fucking 3 of them die, and the dude that like was the most skeptical of Andor was just like, yeah, we're gonna split this and kill her and fuck off. It is, yeah, it's just so, it's very anti-Star Wars.
I'm also glad Tim got what he deserved.
Yeah, Timothy got on the stairs.
And Tim with 2 M's.
2 M's.
Which one was he?
He was Bix's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he got what he deserved.
Like, I understand why he did what he did. He's trying to protect her, but he's a fucking dickhead. He deserved what he got.
He did it because he thought Cassian and Bix were getting back together, and he was jealous.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were dating, so I can understand that, but still.
It's like, oh, my friend comes back into town for a day. Better call the Imperial cops on him.
Would you guys say do you guys think there's a point to all this? Do you think the show has a message?
The message, everything's gray. Literally everything is gray. There is no, like, good and bad guy. Everyone's just doing bad shit.
Like what you had brought up earlier, it's like understanding the Empire, where, yeah, the Empire is fucking terrible, but the individual people that work within the Empire all have reasons for doing what they're doing, and they're not completely evil, I guess,
Yeah.
necessarily.
I will say the only problem with that is just the fact that Palpatine exists is so obviously horribly evil that it's like
Yeah.
if he actually showed up in this show, it would feel so jarring because it's like, oh, like morality. Oh, but like your boss is like also like Hitler Satan, who cackles evilly and shoots lightning out of his hands. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at it in the Star Wars canon, the show is almost kind of being held back
yes,
by the rest of
yes, absolutely.
because you could do an interesting thing where you show both sides are kind of fucked, like neither is good or bad. But no, we know that the Empire is just bad.
Yeah.
They're building a device that blows up planets and kills everyone on them. That's when you hit max level bad. Also, just, the way they deal with their prisoners and stuff. That's pretty fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fucking torture device. The screams of psychic children.
Yeah, that's a bit fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's kind of what I meant about Star Wars. The issue being the black and white is because the way they portrayed the Empire originally, nothing they did was understandable. They were just evil for the sake of being evil.
It's just bad guys screaming at screens saying
Yeah.
kill them all.
So that's why I prefer stuff like this. Like, for example, the Grey Jedi that were in the expanded universe that aren't really in the films, right?
Mhm.
I think it's just so much more interesting when even bad guys can be relatable and understandable. And episode 4, 5, and 6, while I do, I love those films, they are significantly flawed as a result because of that.
Maybe.
So that's why I prefer stuff like this, where it's like, yeah, everybody's kind of shit. Everybody, well, not everybody is necessarily good, but they all can have good qualities, I guess.
I
Mhm.
mean,
I don't
sure.
think that'll. Sorry.
I would say that for the original films, I don't think the intention was ever to have like
Yeah.
this like nuanced politics. It
Yeah.
was a classic like hero's journey.
Here's Journey, yeah.
Oh no, I understand that.
Eat the bag. No, I figured you understood that. It's just these shows and the original series, the original movies are aiming for different things,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they're part of the same series, and that dissonance is a bit weird.
Have you guys ever watched Luke's Change?
What?
It's the 9/11 documentary parody based on the destruction of the Death Star.
How hyper specific, but no, I have never watched Luke's Change.
This cell of rebel terrorists blew up our biggest military weapon, and isn't it kinda suspicious how the station commander's son was the one who did it? But
Okay.
yeah, like I am glad that they portrayed everything the way they did.
The one again, the benefit. Well, I'm taking your point and saying it, but the benefit of this show is that Mr. Nameless has constantly said the Empire constantly shows itself as shit, but like, what has the Empire ever done? What do we know about the Empire? How do we know that life under the Empire is even that bad?
Yeah, you're kind of saying my point badly.
I am.
I was more saying in the original films, there was the Empire was bad, but we never got to see much of life under the Empire in the original films. We never got to fully understand why they're bad. We were just told that they're bad, and they're led by Hitler Satan 9000, so we know that they're bad eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we never got to see like the average life under them. Now we do get to see the average life under the Empire, and it's pretty shit.
Yeah.
I can see why the rebels exist.
This might be a bad question, but why'd you bring this show to us, Sliv?
I really liked the show, and I wanted to prove the Nameless guest wrong that Star Wars media can actually be good, or modern Star Wars media can actually be good, especially after the bombs that were the latter half of the sequel trilogy.
Well, I cannot fucking deny that. I have been incredibly jaded on this series ever since episode 7, to be quite honest with you. So
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh
But
my
this time
goodness.
it makes sense for Palpatine to be in it.
Oh god, I don't want to get fucking started
Yeah,
on that.
do
That's
we-
just gonna piss me off.
do we have any closing thoughts on Andor?
And or what?
Fuck you. I think excellent show. I am curious to see where it goes, and knowing the outcome of these characters and the sort of ending of Rogue One. I wonder how many seasons they can realistically get out of this storyline.
I am hearing that it is planned for 2, and the second season will lead up until the start of Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just second season. It's probably going to be in like short story arcs, kind of like we had it, but then like massive time skips in between.
So sort of
Sure.
like a trilogy with the film being the final part. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Hey,
bad.
we'll watch that, and then we'll watch Rogue One at the end of that for a
Yeah,
few-
why not? It's a good movie. I'd watch it.
You guys still
Yeah.
have to watch Solo. I swear it's okay.
Wow, what a glowing review!
I have
I
heard
swear
that it is
it's
very
okay.
good,
It's not
but that's
bad this
just
time,
how-
guys. Sorry, you say you.
I've only
Um,
seen it once, so
Yeah, I liked it. Again, it wasn't a story that relied on key characters. It was a story that felt like it was written because somebody wanted to write it, and that is cool.
I will say that I liked it. It was pretty good, but I don't think I'm really going to care to watch season 2 unless you guys force me to in one of these things. In which case, I'll do it gladly. It's not a big deal. But
We will be sure to do that.
nah.
I'd actually agree with that. I Star Wars got one hit for me. I'm not really interested in like checking out what I missed out. I'll say that because there's just so much shit surrounding it.
oh, there is. I'd let you know if there's actually something worth watching.
So
I do just want to make the recommendation, if you have not played the original Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2
Yeah.
with the
yeah.
deleted content, you really should.
That's
They're
worth it,
phenomenal.
and that's my bad for not playing it. But
Yeah,
that's some other day, and that's some other
peak Star
podcast.
Wars.
I like how they made me feel bad for a droid.
Sure,
B2MO was
that is actually something
was
I was
an
going to bring up.
actual
Yeah,
character.
no, yeah, it's it doesn't have a face, and it's you can clearly see that it feels bad
Mhm.
with how they move this character around and how it presents itself.
It just constantly gets abandoned. It is kind of sad.
It's
Yeah.
like Cassian, you're taking me with you, right?
And then it asks the other guys, like, "Can I go with you?" and shit, and it's like, no.
It's like, stay here tonight, please. Stay with me.
Yeah, they really. There were points where I felt like they were maybe trying a bit too hard to make me feel bad for the droid, but I did, in general, feel bad for that droid.
Now, my speculation is B2MO's memory circuits go into K2SO,
Okay,
the security droid from Rogue
yeah,
One.
from Rogue One, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that game theory.
Yeah, I guess we'll see in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
But hey, all right.
That's all I have to say about Andor.
All right. Let's move on to Chainsaw Man. PorkChopper. What the fuck happens in Chainsaw Man?
All right. Give me a second to think about this shit.
He says that every time. Either Gurren Lagann or Gurren Lagann Part 2, where he's like, wait, give me a second. I really gotta take this in. Really gotta check Wikipedia real quick on those episodes I didn't watch.
Chainsaw Man is basically when you take an incel, he ends up with chainsaws and he just fucking kills everything. That's essentially it.
You know, great synopsis. Fantastic.
You want to expand on that a little bit?
What do you mean? Everything's like, I want to touch boobs. I want to kiss. Yeah, I want to fuck her.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, at
He's an
least-
incel.
Well, at least he didn't get statutory raped that one time.
That is true. Not because he didn't necessarily want to be, but yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it had a lot of interesting characters. The fight scenes, of course. I mean, that's kind of the good thing about anime is the way they choreograph the fight scenes is phenomenal.
Sliv,
Yes.
you just watched it today. Sorry.
Yeah.
You just watched it for the first time relatively recently and had tons of time to think about it.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man's pretty alright. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up in the second season. Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a good shonen, though. I'll say that. It was skirting the lines between what I would assume would be accepted with a battle shonen and something a little more mature.
Oh yeah, there's some weird stuff throughout, like the Chainsaw Man, like the manga. There are some moments that make you go, "This was published in Shonen Jump."
Yeah.
Let's just back up there
Yeah.
for PorkChopper. Shonen Jump is like a monthly.
It's weekly.
Okay.
Weekly.
It's a weekly magazine filled with like the newest chapters of these various manga, and its target demographic is basically between like 8 and 16 years old.
Okay.
So I want you to think about every single scene in Chainsaw Man and an 8-year-old reading those real quick.
Wait,
Ugh.
8-year-old?
Well,
Yes.
it's 8 to 16.
Oh, I thought you said 18 to 16. I was like, that's really fucking weird. Why did he say it like that?
No, 8 to 16.
Dude, 8 years old.
Maybe
That's
not 8, maybe more like 10, but whatever.
even 10. That's a bit weird. I couldn't imagine that. Then again, I watched Terminator and played Grand Theft Auto when I was that young, so.
We could go down the rabbit hole of questionable Japanese ages all fucking day long, but nonetheless, Chainsaw Man was in Shonen Jump, and now it's moved over to
It's on Jump Plus,
Jump
which is just
Plus, okay.
Shonen Jump Online.
online. Okay.
So it's still Shonen Jump, effectively.
You two have watched this for the first time. Me and Mr. Nameless have just watched the anime through our first time, and we've both read and caught up with the manga. So, I mean, where do we start?
Well, I don't know. We start with Denji.
Yeah, how do we feel about Denji boys? Because it's interesting that you called him an incel, PorkChopper.
Yeah,
That was your first take.
what I would say about Denji is that Denji is a person who has no concept of what a normal life is.
Yeah.
And because of that, and the fact that he's a horny 16-year-old, he fixates on these like weird sexual things because he doesn't actually know how to like properly go about this.
Mm-hmm.
So he just makes that his goal, is to like touch boobs, and he gets like weirdly into it. And it's very funny. Like I enjoy his juvenileness. when it
Weird.
comes to-
Yeah, it's funny and sad at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And that is on purpose. The series as a whole loves to make you feel two different emotions at the same time. A lot. I mean, yeah, Denji is very much an underdog character. It is really cool to like just kind of. I fucking love the Chainsaw Man design. First of all, like
Oh yeah, the design's rad.
fucking head alone. It's. I just awesome, man.
Now, what if he could detach his head and use it like a chainsaw?
Can you imagine if something like that happened? Can you
True.
imagine?
It probably happens later since I mentioned it now.
There's similar things.
Yeah, very similar things. With that said, I will say that Chainsaw Man is one of the most fucking popular things out right now. It is weird how popular it is. It is weird that I can go to an Indigo and check out the bestsellers section and see like every volume Chainsaw Man from 1 to 10 shit's popping off, and I like that for once, good shit is hitting the mainstream. I approve. With that said, I don't usually read manga. This series had to be something really special for me because I watched the first episode and then I read the manga and then I could not stop fucking reading that shit. Like, I have a weird problem where every time I read manga, I kind of just want to fall asleep. I was hooked on Chainsaw Man. I am excited every single time a new chapter comes out. That shit is hype as fuck. But if I had one main complaint with the show, it's that it lacks the roughness of the manga.
Yeah, to explain that,
Yes.
you guys wouldn't know that necessarily. The manga has a really like sketchy, rough style in its art.
Yeah.
Yes, it has
And-
really good line art in the manga.
Like it looks kind of like sketchy and rough, and it's really good for that because during these like
Yeah.
really chaotic scenes
Yeah.
where there's blood and guts everywhere, for some reason the author Fujimoto just believes people are filled with guts, the way that Tarantino thinks people are blood balloons.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so anytime something gets cut up, there's just intestines everywhere.
It's an absolute cacophony of lines, and it's beautiful to behold.
Yeah. Now, I have some like issues like manga compared to anime, and it's mostly just like the anime is trying to almost take a more serious tone, whereas sometimes the manga is a lot more expressive and funny in how it portrays things. But I really don't want to discuss manga versus anime this whole time.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about what's actually here. Denji is a character who has literally no control over his own life at any point. At the very beginning, he's like several million in debt to the mafia or the Yakuza. And he's like sold his eye, his kidney, one of his testicles. It's fucked up and weird, man.
Yeah.
That whole beginning section is like gross in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it actually feels really cathartic when he literally just says, if I kill all of you, I will no longer be in debt. But then proceeds to chop up all the zombies.
How are we feeling about Makima?
He creeps me out.
She's the pink-haired one, right?
No. Makima is
She's the boss.
director.
Or sorry, reddish hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure she's obviously a fiend because the show makes a big point to keep showing her eyes and the fact that they're very similar to Powers.
Mhm.
So I know there's some weird shit that's probably going to happen with her in the next season. She's a cool character, though.
I mean, that is true. Even knowing everything I know, that is true. She is a cool character.
He's definitely a cool character.
Yeah, Makima is really interesting. Early on, you basically you can very clearly tell she is manipulating Denji at like every turn. Super hard. And you know that there's something up with her. I mean, she like clapped her hands and people exploded at one point.
Yeah.
And to do that, she had this big ritual where she needed a bunch of death row criminals to say that person's name, and then that person dropped dead. Like, you know there's some fuckery going on there. But it's also interesting that she did not kill the most important people of the enemy organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
Kind of
thing there.
sus, not gonna lie.
Don't know why you think that's sus.
I don't know. She knew like the side characters that I didn't even know their names, but she didn't know the super important people who were fucking everything up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
One thing I did think was interesting, on the train after she dies and was still alive, which I saw coming, the bodies have massive holes in the chest, which I think is a big giveaway regarding her character.
Who knows?
Well, yeah.
I can't even fucking remember actually why they have big holes in their chests.
Uh-huh.
She just
One
punched
punch,
them real
obviously.
hard.
Real hard. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think she's definitely bad, and she's scheming. Obviously, she's been doing that, as Nameless said, since the beginning. With what the fuck is his name again?
Denji.
Yeah, Denji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested enough that whenever you guys will have to remind me, but whenever the next season comes out, I will actually watch it because I am interested in the story. I did.
Whoa,
enjoy it, as weird as it is.
PorkChopper wanting to watch an anime as it's coming out. What black magic is this?
Hey, I said it. If the second season of Psychopaths was actually good, I would have watched it, but it's not very good, so I'm not going to watch it. But
Sounds like anime isn't that bad after all.
It's funny, that was actually going to be... It was going to be my ending question, was are you going to watch season 2? So that's cool.
Yeah, I know. I will. As weird as I think some of the, like, Denji, for example, is and shit, especially early on, I did like the show. I think it's a great story. Really cool characters. I like the mix of the different devils and how wacky they got with some of them. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some of the devils get really fucking wacky. And there's some that like you just wouldn't expect. Like the angel devil is a really weird devil to exist.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was so different from everything else. Like, she doesn't really do anything, but if you touch her, she's gonna suck your life away. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, her.
What is
Yeah.
angelic about that?
Yeah, for future reference, Angel's a dude.
Can't believe you had to ruin that for him! Do we want to tell the Rin story? Do we want to tell the Rin story?
Probably not, but I didn't see that coming.
Oh, Rin was so into the angel devil. Rin was totally into her.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was like a weird one. Angel's a cool character that exists for a bit.
I'm actually kind of mad at you for spoiling that.
It's not a spoiler!
Hey man, it's a spoiler for PorkChopper who apparently didn't know.
Yeah, fair.
Even though somebody says in this season, by the way, that's a dude.
When did they say that? I didn't even notice.
I forget who says it, but I know somebody does.
I watched it obviously with subtitles, so I was probably watching the action or something and just missed it.
There was some shit going on there, so
yeah, that was always a fun scene in both the manga and anime when they introduce all the various fiends and devils apart on the team. When you get the violence fiend and he's so strong, they need to keep poisoning him.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, as it goes forward, the violence fiend is like shown to be completely mild mannered and like super calm and chill.
Oh yeah.
He's great.
Really chill, actually.
Now, is that because of the poison or because, like, Violence is actually a nice person?
Who knows?
There's some minor explanation, but it doesn't really matter. He becomes Kobeni's partner. Kobeni's a fun character.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about Kobeni yet. The eternal butt of the show. Of every single joke. Yeah.
Kobeni is the short girl that got
with the knife,
stupid scared. Yeah, with the knife.
Yeah. I didn't like Kobeni during the Eternity arc.
Fucking nobody did, man.
All she did that is scream.
She screamed and tried to kill our main character. Yeah, that screams likable to me.
You know what? That might actually be based, considering Genji being a piece of shit he is.
Genji?
Oh, wow.
What is this, Overwatch?
I need healing. Give me blood.
All right, so let's back up here, Sliv. Are you on the Denji hate train here?
I'm not a big fan of Denji's character, but
really?
I don't hate Denji.
Okay.
Like, it makes sense because of his age.
Just because of it. Okay, but yeah.
Well, age and upbringing.
Age and upbringing, yeah.
I don't necessarily hate him. I understand why he is the way that he is, but the fact that he sort of lacks any kind of morality is can be a bit off-putting, I guess. But like, considering his upbringing and shit, I can understand that.
Yeah. To be fair, guys, we're also getting at this from we know
everything that happens.
Yeah, we know modern Denji.
Agreed.
Like we know where he is currently.
Yeah.
So
There is a lot, yeah.
There is
There's
a
a lot
lot.
that
He does
happens.
grow and have some actually some kind of fucked up moments later. Really bad things happen
Yeah.
to him. But yeah. So let's see, what other characters are there to talk
Power
about?
How
gives
about-
me serious step on me energy.
Power. Power's
Mhm.
great. I love Power.
It's great.
She is complete chaos.
Yeah.
She's so selfish. She runs away at this hint of danger.
Yeah, it's like I just I wanted to go home. It's like, what the fuck do you mean
Yeah, I
you wanted to
needed
go
a
home because you were hungry? Bullshit.
Yeah, she's also just a fucking pathologic liar.
Yeah.
She was entertaining. I like that.
Yeah, she's really entertaining. In most manga and stuff, they have character popularity polls, and in the first popularity poll for Chainsaw Man, she did win number 1,
I'm not surprised.
followed by Makima, then Denji.
Hmm.
No, that makes sense.
How do we feel about the real protagonist of the show, Aki?
He's okay.
I don't mind him. I think he's pretty cool. I think they could have done a bit more with him, but he's all right.
There.
Thing I like about Aki really early on is there are several moments where he's hating Denji at the beginning because he thinks Denji's just some idiot punk.
Yeah.
But every time Denji casually brings up something awful in his life, you can see Aki briefly look over his shoulder and somewhat shock at Denji.
Yeah.
Just because wait, what the fuck? That's awful.
Yeah,
So his
he
thought
sort of
process.
starts to understand him.
Yeah, and there is definitely a shift in their relationship by the end of the season. We go from both of them fighting the testicle devil to well,
Having the greatest tournament.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Testicle devil?
Yeah. After
yeah. That was a huge fight. Don't you remember episode 2 when they fought the testicle devil and for some reason Aki was having a really hard time standing up?
Ah.
It's nuts or nothing. Okay.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
PorkChopper, I sent you a video of the intro.
Oh, I did not watch that. I forgot about it. Fuck.
Basically the intro is pretty cool because it's literally like a scene for scene recreation of a bunch of really famous movie shots with the characters doing those shots.
Oh, okay.
You never watched the opening?
I did on the first episode. Yeah.
He didn't watch the opening with the comparison to what scene it was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Neither did I, but
No, I
you know.
watched the first intro, yeah, and then I skipped the rest of them, but I did watch it.
Yeah. It's a neat intro. The reason they do all these movie references is because the author Fujimoto has this weird movie fetish. He just loves movies and going to the theater or something. In everything he does, the characters end up in a movie theater at some point.
Okay.
forget, did
I'm
they-
like Tarantino with the girl's feet.
Oh, yeah.
They
They don't do the movie theater date in the show, right?
No.
No? Okay. That'll
No.
happen eventually.
Yeah, it's not yet.
Can't
But yeah.
believe best character Pachita died in the first episode.
He lives on, bro. He's not fully dead.
You're right.
Yeah.
He is
Actually,
literally Genji's heart.
Yep.
yeah. In the manga volumes, between each chapter, there's a little drawing of Puchita doing something silly in relation to what is happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just a small little doodle. It's nothing major, but it is funny. And it's probably just kind of a reference to the fact that Puchita is watching Denji's life through his heart.
Yeah, because he said, "Show me your dream." That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure Puchita's voice actress is Chopper.
I wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure that's
Probably.
true.
I could see that.
I don't remember voicing this character.
Don't worry about it. There's one scene with that.
It's
where
one
Puchita
scene.
talks.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for the Nyako glow up. It's gonna happen eventually. Right, guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Nyako becomes the biggest devil hunter on the team.
Who the fuck is Nyako?
Nyako is Meowie.
Meowsy or whatever.
Oh, the fucking cat.
Yeah, the cat. The cat's gonna have
Yeah,
a glow up.
meowing.
It's gonna make a contract with the devil for sure.
No,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen is Power is gonna finally do what she said. It's just gonna eat the fucking cat when she's hungry.
Yeah.
The emergency food.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
ration.
I know it's kind of early in the story, but do you guys think that there's like a theme or like a point to all this?
A point?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
what do you mean?
what's the story trying to say?
Like the overall,
Yeah.
it's
I don't think there's
hard to say.
a right answer for the record. I've just been thinking quite a bit about it recently because that's what you do when you're going into a book club. You think about things.
Yeah. It's often hard to
Yeah.
determine that from something that's actually pretty early on
Yeah.
in the story of Chainsaw
Yeah.
Man. This is the first 37 chapters
Mhm.
of Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is currently 128,
Around there.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Because it does feel like, in the grand scheme of where the show could go, not a lot happened
Yeah.
compared to what they could do. So it's hard to tell what the overall like theme is going to be because that could change.
The main thing we know at this point is that for some reason, devils want Denji's heart.
Mhm.
They want Puchita for some reason, and
Yeah.
some humans want it. Apparently, the Gun Devil wants it. Which we didn't talk about the Gun Devil. Gun Devil's a funny concept.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the anime does a really bad job of explaining the Gun Devil. The Gun Devil, because it doesn't go through its kill counts in the manga, it shows all the kill counts from the
Yeah.
various countries. It teleported all around the world for like an hour, and it shows that it was in like this place for 12 seconds and killed this many people, and then it was in this place for 20 minutes and killed this many people.
Yeah, I think they said something like 1.2 million people got killed by the Gun Devil in
Yeah.
like a minute or some shit.
They mention how many people it killed and how fast it did it, but does not do like the detailed breakdown of the various countries and stuff, which was kind of
Yeah.
fun to see. Which that's something you can easily do in manga because you can just list them and people can read it at their own pace.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably didn't want to waste time in the episode for that.
Yeah, they
It
wouldn't
could have been
able to
like a
do that.
news broadcast flashback or something. Would
Not
have
the
been
same
easy
impact.
enough.
Not the
Yeah.
same impact, different medium.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but it's
yeah.
fine. I can accept these kind of concessions.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Gun Devil's funny that one of the strongest devils out there is just guns. Because
Yeah.
guns are really scary.
One, it's
Yeah.
weird because it's like the people that I guess have contracts with the Gun Devil just they pull out a fucking gun.
Well, yeah, the contract was basically they gave the Gun Devil $200 and they got a gun.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
They
that's
just
it?
bought a gun from the Gun Devil.
Yeah,
That's what the contract was,
Yeah.
apparently.
that is bizarre. Because at
I
that point, it's
mean-
like, well, is it a fucking devil or is it just some gun dealer? Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, fair. It could just be maybe there's a gun dealer.
Maybe
Who
it's just
calls
dude,
himself the Gun
yeah.
Devil. Who knows? But even then, it would still be good for the Gun Devil. It's like, okay, because it's effectively just spreading guns, which increases the fear, which increases its power. So
Guys, when does the drugs devil show up? And what's
think-
its ability?
we've encountered some weird devils throughout the series.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you've told me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the fact that one of the first devils they face off against is the Eternity Devil is pretty weird. That's not a fear you would immediately think of. And that's a fun arc. I enjoy that one. Especially its conclusion where Denji invents the perpetual motion machine and he demands his Nobel Prize.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to realize he can just fucking like consume the blood and just heal himself and just fucks that thing up.
Just kept
Yeah.
going.
Until eventually it commits suicide out of pain.
Yeah.
This is then followed by the famous puke scene, which everyone loves.
Oh god, yeah.
They censored that. I'm surprised they censored that.
Yeah, they're cowards for that,
Fucking
and I dislike
cowards.
it. That was not censored in the manga. It's just full puke right in the mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
even
then
in
they
the, like-
censored the pile of puke on the grounds that the rats were eating.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I noticed that it was censored. I was like, what? Why? It's just puke.
They almost always censor puke in anime. It's not like a thing just with this one. It happens in almost every anime.
Yeah, you can have girls practically naked and shit. You can see their ass, but nah, man, puke, that's too far. You can have
That's
blood
way
and
too
guts,
far.
but you know.
Yeah, puke's going too far.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I don't fully get it. But I am not the one creating the rules for Japanese television, so
True.
whatever.
You should be the one bringing the rules, Travis.
Yeah, move to Japan and become the head of the Japanese telecoms agency or whatever it is, and change the rules about puke in anime.
I feel like there's something
Um,
significant that we haven't talked about.
The Fox Devil's a pussy for not showing back up.
I mean, would you want to come back after a person puts a living katana in your mouth?
Not really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually fair. Yeah.
Actually, that's something we haven't really talked about. I enjoy the way that Denji defeats Katana Man, because he actually does come up with a plan.
Yeah, a little bit of a smart move. A little tricky.
He pulls a
tricky
smart move, which comes from the earlier thing where they try to be smart to defeat Kishibe.
Yeah.
And by pretending to be smart, they both wear glasses because they're both idiots. Kishibe is also a fun character.
Is that the alcoholic guy?
Yeah.
the alcoholic master guy who shows up and immediately stabs Denji through the chin, out the brain.
Yeah, no, he seems pretty cool. I want to see him in the next season for sure.
I just want to ask a question. I want to get some speculation going here.
Sure.
Okay.
What is Kobeni's devil contract? Because she states it's a secret, and we never find it out in the anime.
It's
So
the
what do you think it
secret
is?
devil.
Those are pretty scary.
That would be actually kind
I
of
don't
funny.
know. Because there's the scene where she starts running along. What is it? The snake.
Yeah.
And I think was it Katana Man or something asked like, "What devil contract do you have?" or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
think, if I remember correctly, that scene he basically just says, "What are you, a monkey?" Because she's just being super agile.
Yeah,
Mhm.
something like that. Yeah, which got me thinking like, what kind of devil could she have? I actually don't really know, but it's got to be something to do with movement for sure.
Okay, I'm just curious because that was always a hot topic of speculation.
Yeah. I'm just gonna throw this out there. But like if I were looking at the first season, I'm trying to keep it in the bubble of what you guys know. I would say that maybe the point it's trying to get across is that like having a dream and obtaining it will never be as awesome or as great as the pedestal that you put it on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, we obviously see that constantly with Denji, where all of his dreams are kind of shit, or maybe it's about saying, you know, it's important to have an actually good, fulfilling dream rather than something fucking stupid.
I mean, that is one thing. I think it might just be. I think with Denji's whole thing, it might just be that you don't have to like settle for crap in a way, because he had garbage life, and at one point he says, maybe I should have just been happy with what I had with Puchita, in where he had like bread for dinner.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm also coming out from a bit later. Maybe,
Yeah.
is that
Gotta
a lot of
narrow
it
it down.
is there is a you can do better, like you deserve a bit
Yeah.
better. There is a level of like, you know, don't go too far maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
Denji definitely deserves better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand that because it's like just because you've had a garbage life doesn't mean you have to have these garbage goals in life or these garbage dreams.
Yeah.
But there's also a bit in there of what is important to people is on an individual basis. Denji doesn't understand Aki's desire for revenge at
Mhm.
all, really. And Aki wouldn't understand Denji's desire to grab boobs.
Yeah.
But they're both technically valid things to want.
Yeah.
Even if Denji's is a little immature and dumb.
Yeah.
And Denji's an immature and dumb character, so it makes sense he would have that.
Yeah.
His dreams have evolved a little bit.
Again, a little bit, but I mean, I would even call Aki's dream dumb.
I didn't call it dumb. I was just saying that Denji wouldn't be able to understand it.
I would call it dumb.
You
like,
would call it dumb.
I would. We're constantly like Aki's pursuit of killing the Gun Devil is, well, he pulls out a sword that like does a big attack, but it like takes multiple years off his life. He's making deals with devils that are like literally taking the skin off of his body.
Oh, we didn't talk about some of Aki's devils, which are cool.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
No, Aki's going like super hard on this.
Yeah.
I would say that you can put some like admirable. Obviously, it's a revenge thing, but the Gun Devil is like super dangerous. It would make sense that you can rationalize it as, yeah, he wants revenge, but it's also a public service in a way.
Yeah, he doesn't want another kid to experience what he had to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So you can come at it in a variety of ways. It doesn't really matter. Aki's devils are cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
they are.
The Cursed Devil, you saw, he like points the sword and says fire, and then the big finger comes and flicks the nail into the enemy. That was so much better done in the manga.
Yeah.
It's so much better done in the manga. Because in the manga, the finger comes in from off panel. Like it's outside of the box. And it flicks the sword. That's so much cooler than just a disembodied finger showing up.
Yeah, explain to me how Curse didn't actually just get rid of Sword.
Because Sword is like Denji.
He's a tough guy. Yeah.
He's a tough guy.
You can just take out Denji with one hit, unless you're like Kishibe.
Kishibe didn't even kill him though.
It's true.
It's very hard to kill Denji, and thus it would be very hard to kill Katana Man.
Yeah.
At this point, we don't know anything about like hybrids, which is what fans of the series call them, because they do not have an official name anywhere.
Yeah.
Cut from fucking groin to brain and then put back together.
Yeah. You just need to put it back together and give him a bit of blood and then kick him in the balls 20 times.
Just like slide the two ends back together, it's fine.
And that's what they did with Denji too. Denji got bisected from the waist. I mean, that's just one of the things I really like about characters that have like big healing factor kind of thing. You can just brutalize them. It's quite fun.
Fire Punch anime when?
Fire Punch. Fire Punch is the series that the author made before Chainsaw Man. We won't talk about Fire Punch, but it is hilarious and awesome.
Okay.
Can we at least talk about the very idea of Fire Punch, the very concept of Fire Punch, and what Fire Punch is?
Okay, Fire Punch is a man who has Wolverine-style regeneration, and he got hit by a guy whose power is a flame that never goes out. So he's burning forever. You can't put it out ever.
This premise depressed the fuck out of me. I couldn't read Fire Punch based on that premise alone. I felt so bad for our main character.
Can he just go swimming?
No, the fire still won't go out. It's undying
How
fire.
the fuck can the fire go underwater?
What, are you gonna set the lake on fire?
Yes.
It's magic. Don't worry about it.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it kind of goes out when he's underwater, but as soon as he comes back up, it just lights back on.
Anyway, point is, our author is a fucking weirdo.
Oh yeah, the author
and
is
it's awesome.
It's great. One of the main villains of Fire Punch, their motivation is to get a sequel to Star Wars or something, which is really funny now that the sequels are out.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for.
Anyway, there's a lot more weird shit coming, and season 2 is going to be hype as fuck.
Yeah.
When is season 2 next year? Or
we don't know.
Who knows?
There is no official announcement.
But it's coming.
Well, I believe so. It hasn't been officially announced, but I can't see why they wouldn't.
It's so fucking popular. It's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's done. I don't know how well the anime's done, but I know that the manga's done really well.
I mean, before you guys even mentioned it for this podcast, I already kind of... I didn't know the premise of Chainsaw Man, but I knew the name because I saw it fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's clearly popular.
All right, final thoughts?
Good show. Cool characters. Cool devils. Yeah, I want to see more.
I'm hoping Denji somewhat matures.
One would hope. I don't know if that's going to happen.
One would
but
hope.
that would be nice.
At least he's gotten past the booba. For now.
For now.
No.
He's going to see another pair of booba, and he's going to go
Yeah.
right back.
Okay, I actually will mention one thing that I didn't mention before. It's that the animation, they're for fights, they've got their 3D Chainsaw Man model that they use. And I do like it, but I just feel like it doesn't get disgusting enough. I feel like there needs to be more blood happening. I feel like the Attorney Devil, he should have been fucking showered in blood by the end of that. And so I'd like to go a little bit farther. I feel I just comparing it to the manga for the last time. It's just like the fighting's just a little too clean. It needs to get dirtier. It needs to get bloodier, and then I think I'll like it more. But I still like it. So
I can agree with that. Considering it's about a guy with chainsaws for arms,
Yeah.
you would think there would be more blood and guts and shit. So
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think it's a good adaptation. I'm glad that it's popular, and I'm sure we'll see season 2.
Yeah, I largely agree with everything just said. I really like Chainsaw Man. I've been reading it from chapter 1. Like, as soon as it came out, I was reading it. So, I'm a pretty big fan. And I hope season 2 comes out. I hope it maintains, like, the level of quality that we got. I hope it actually gets, like, even better. There were a few 3D animation cuts I thought were a little jank. But, whatever, that's fine. I hope it gets better. Mappa does a lot of stuff though, so who knows. And yeah, I'm curious as to how far season 2 even goes, because this was 37 chapters total. I think 37 chapters from now is like after the assassins. For anyone who's actually read the manga, they'll know what that means. I'm curious to see how far it goes. I've also heard rumors that they want to do the next arc as a movie, maybe, which would be good because that arc.
That would be a good movie, actually.
Yeah. That arc also has some insane fights that would require so much animation.
Fuck yeah, it does.
That's all. Here's a slight spoiler. They have the Typhoon Devil show up, and the Typhoon Devil is a giant baby that's surrounded by a hurricane of intestines. And it rampages through the city.
What?
Yeah, but will Santa Claus show up next season?
No, Santa Claus would not be next season. For anyone who's read the manga, anyone who's read the manga will know who Santa Claus is, and PorkChopper will just have to be confused by Santa Claus.
Any inkling to check out the manga, boys?
No, I'm good. I'll pass on that.
I'm lazy, so as soon as I stop being lazy and depressed, perhaps. Because the only thing I'm reading weekly is One Piece right now.
It's time to wrap this up with the boys. I have been your Kaznarious. With me has been Sliv.
Goodbye, everybody.
And ThePorkChopper.
See you later.
And Mr. Nameless.
See you next time when we review all the pre-time skip chapters of One Piece.
Pre-time skip chapters? What are you talking about? We're watching all 1,060 episodes.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow my Twitch. Later, everybody. I love Star Wars!